Welcome back to episode 95 of the AJ Sports Podcast. I am one half Anthony Carboni, and to my left is the other half Justin Vilche. And like I said before, not a lot of sports going on. Kind of sucks ass. I'm not going to lie. We got nothing to really talk about. But we decided, now that free agency's calmed down in the National Hockey League, NHL, that we predict the standings, because it seems that no one else is going to be signed, nor any other NHL teams are going to bring other players up. We pretty much know who's going to be playing for their teams. And, I mean, we're still mid-July. We still got a couple months, but preseason camp is right around the corner. And they will be, a bunch of players like Matthews are already in camp. Training. So we're going to make our predictions with what we've seen in the free agency a couple weeks ago. But first, we got to say what's up to the boy, Justin. What's going on, dude?
Good, bro. Nothing really much is popping right now. Just vibing, really, I guess. Just waiting for most of the sports to come back. Just saw the Jays get absolutely dominated today again. So it's whatever.
But on the good news is that Carboni Stallions, a.k.a. Team Grey U, are playing tomorrow night at SAC 7 p.m., which is our soccer team. I'm the captain. We're on I think a game-winning streak. We haven't lost a game yet. We're 5 wins, 0 losses, 2 draws. So we're looking to continue that, stay undefeated tomorrow. So that's something you guys haven't known. But, yeah, I think we should discuss the NHL divisions. I want to start with the Pacific. Let's get right into it. Last year, I'll go through it right now. Last year, we had the Canucks top in the group with 109 points, Edmonton at 104, Los Angeles 99, and Vegas with 98, holding those forced playoff spots. Teams like Calgary, Seattle, Anaheim, and San Jose missed the playoffs, especially the Ducks and the Sharks. They missed by a long shot, but the Flames were also, they were in the mix for a little bit too, but call a tough final stretch in their last 10 games. They went 5-5. They didn't win a single shootout game. Yeah, man, it's going to be a crazy year, as we've seen the Canucks get their guy in Jake DeBrusk. We saw the Edmonton Oilers improve. Let's start off, and even the Sharks with Celebrini and a bunch of guys. Let's start off with our with the bottom. We'll go 8 to 1, I'd say. So who do you think's going to be at the bottom?
I'm going to be completely honest. I think the Calgary Flames might be the worst team in the Pacific.
Really? The Calgary Flames?
Yeah, bro. I think they're just going to have a massive drop-off. Look, they don't really have a goalie right now. They have, DJ Wolf or whatever.
Wolf.
He's still Dustin Wolf. He's still a rookie. Forward core, it's fine. It's whatever. It's cool. Nobody's really... It's cool. Even, the defense group, they have Rasmus Anderson. I don't even know if Shillington is still with them. I don't know if he re-signed or whatever. So, again, it's kind of just a whole big mess. And I know Flames fans don't really have any much expectation for next year. And I think it's going to just get ugly. The Flames, I'm going to be honest. I know they had 81 points last year, but wow.
You think it's going to be bad, eh?
I think it's going to get into really rough times here for the Calgary Flames. They still have Huberdeau, who hasn't performed his contract at all. And it's just a complete disaster. So, you know what, dude? I'm going to say Flames come last, to be honest.
How's that Kachuk trade looking?
Oh, gosh. That was brutal. On the Calgary Flames side. Panthers are just loving that. So.
Yeah, I think Calgary... So, actually, you go make your predictions. You go all the way up, and then I'll make mine. I think that's how we'll do it.
So, I'll say the Flames. I'll say the Flames last. I'll say the Sharks second last. I think they'll have a much better season. They improved in the offseason. Obviously, Celebrini. They also brought in Tyler Toffoli. Barclay Goodrow?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. He also on waivers. So, although he doesn't want to really be there, but I think he'll still give something. So, I think the Sharks will be a much improved team. And who knows, man? It maybe Blackwood could also be good enough goalie, to actually get them some wins. So you know what? Screw it. Sharks second last in that Pacific Division. Third last. I'm gonna go the Ducks. It's gonna be another shitty season for the Ducks. And you know what, dude? Ducks fans, they just gotta really hang on tight here, because it's only a matter of time before they actually get good again. So Ducks, John Gibson it's only a matter of time before he gets traded too. Like I don't know how you're just wasting the man's career. Okay, just sticking him in Anaheim and like you don't even want to trade the guy. So whatever. Yeah, Ducks, you guys are not doing anything next year. Fourth place, nope. One, two, three, four. Yeah, fourth place. I'm gonna go to the Seattle Kraken. I like the ads of Montour and Chandler Stevenson. Although a lot of people really don't like that Chandler Stevenson contract, which I really don't understand why. He can play all three positions, and he can also put up points. But yeah, Seattle Kraken. They will be one, two, three in the fifth spot. In the fifth spot. I think they'll have a little bit of an improvement, but nothing too drastic. I just think these next four teams are just significantly better than the Seattle Kraken in the Pacific Division. So fourth place, we'll go with the LA Kings. LA Kings didn't really do much this offseason. I mean, it was kind of just a shit show, really. Like they re-signed Byfield, but other than that, like it was, yeah, really nothing happened. So made no improvements, while the Canucks, Oilers, and Golden Knights did something. So yeah, I'm gonna go that. I'm gonna go third Canucks.
Really, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know they topped the division last year, but I think they really overachieved, and I'm not really sold on this Canucks team again. And I will continue to not be sold on this Canucks team. Last year they overachieved, and I think they will have a decline this year. So yeah, I really like they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think they'll be like this great team as they were last year. Like, come on, like let's just be realistic. Second place, I think the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are always in there. So I can see them come second in the Pacific Division. And first, I mean the Edmonton Oilers. I mean the Edmonton Oilers are just look like a powerhouse team. They added Jeff Skinner, and they added all these other bunch of guys. So it's like Matthew Savoie as well. So I mean, you know what, dude? The Oilers are going to be a real problem next year with all this more offensive help. And dude, they're going to top this division, and it could be a landslide. Honestly, I could see them winning this division by 15, 20 points. Honestly. But
Now,
that's just my
my question to you is, do you have both wildcard positions in this division or not? So what are you thinking? So
no.
obviously they you have Edmonton, you have Vegas, and you have LA, right? As
No,
the
I have Oilers, Golden Knights, Canucks.
Oilers, Golden Knights, Canucks as your top three. As for the wild card, what do you think?
I think we'll get one team from both divisions, from the
Oh,
Central and the Pacific.
okay, fair enough.
So I think the Kings will get into that wild card, but I think it'll be a four. I think they'll be second wild card. And they'll be second wild card.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Um, so what I think, okay, obviously we're gonna go elephant in the room, San Jose. They're still not gonna be a good team. I think they're gonna be last in the division. They're not there yet. They got all these, guys like Barkley Goodrow. They've got Tyler Toffoli. They've got Jake Wallman. They've got a bunch of veteran guys that are Alex Wenberg that are gonna show guys like Celebrini and Will Smith because it seems that they're both committed to playing for the Sharks this year. This team's gonna be really fun to watch. It's gonna be pretty similar to the Chicago Blackhawks last year with them bringing in like Nick Foligno, Taylor Hall, all to play with Connor Bedard. But yeah, I think San Jose is still going to be last. I don't really see them doing much. Next, I think the LA Ducks, the Anaheim Ducks. Yeah, I
Huh.
mean, they still got a bunch of young guys. I'm looking at their lineup here. It seems that Cutter Gauthier is going to be with the squad this year, being on a line with Leo Carlson and Troy Terry. It's a pretty good first line. Ryan Strome, Trevor Zegras, and Frank Toronto as the second line. They've got a really good team, but for the future, it's not like compared to a bunch of these other juggernauts that are in this division. It's going to be real tough for
Yep.
them. They did just get Robbie Fabry as well. So I'm looking at their defense. Brian Dumoulin, Cam Fowler seems to be the top pairing. In a couple years, they're going to be really good. It's just for me, the Anaheim Ducks are not ready yet, but they will be there soon because a lot of these bad teams like that we've seen in the past couple years are getting a lot better, and the Ducks are for sure one of those teams who are going to have a very bright future. You would say no?
Yeah, I think so. It's only a matter of time. They've been not good for a good what 4, 5, 6 years now. So again, sooner or later, they're gonna really pick it up. So with all their guys stepping up.
In
So
sixth place, I'm going with the Calgary Flames. These guys, man, they are just losing, 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 losing. They got Ryan Lomberg. Okay, great. They have Anthony Mantha. Okay, great, but you lost Markstrom. how are you going to rely on this tiny little Dustin Wolf in net all season long? I mean, they did get
Oh,
Kevin Ball as a defenseman in the trade with Markstrom. However, it's only downhill from Calgary. I think at this point they're trying to, as soon as they signed Nazem Kadri and didn't make playoffs after they had an incredible, first round against the Stars and then intense battle of Alberta, losing in five. I really think that the Flames are, they're in a rough spot right now. They're not an essential rebuild, but a re a retool, I would say. But they've been retooling for too long now, and with guys like Huberdeau trying to get him back into his form, Michael Backlund, Blake Coleman, Sharon Govich finding his game, Kadri, Kuzmenko, a lot of these like gamers, right? You'd
mhm.
expect them to be good, but for me, it hasn't worked. It didn't work last year. Like I thought they would be a much better team last year compared to the year before, but what can you do? These guys are just not, you know, they're not a strong team, and they definitely don't compare to a bunch of these other guys who I have ahead of them. And losing Markstrom is really gonna, it's gonna
Affect their season.
affect their season for sure because he was such an important piece to these guys. Because he saved a lot of games for the Flames. Let's not forget that a couple of these games, games against the Bruins or whatever, he really had to like stand on his head a couple times. And without him, I mean, he also had like one of the highest like high danger chance save percentages in the league, if not the highest, if I remember. So he was playing out of his mind. But for me, I think that's going to be a huge loss for them. And now they're going to have to rely on getting this younger goalie Dustin Wolf into some action, and I just don't think they're gonna be as strong. It sucks, man, because they were like really good. They were the Pacific Division title holders not too long ago.
Huh? Yeah,
So
yeah, they were.
they were, but ever since they traded Kachuk away and lost Gaudreau, it's just been a mess. They lost their big three, and now I don't know. Just the downfall of Calgary really needs to be studied a lot more, considering that team was literally a cup contender 2 seasons ago, and now they've missed playoffs 2 years in a row. Let's move on to my number five spot. I'm going with the Kraken. I really like a lot of the ads they've made, potentially fighting for that last wildcard spot. Chandler Stevenson, that's a great ad in my opinion. They've got Jaden Schwartz, they've got Burakovsky, they've got Eberle Beniers, Jared McCann. They've got some guys who could score goals, especially McCann, who put up 40 goals last season. And they just, like you said, they added the big fish in Brandon Montour as he was one of the biggest free agents in the entire free agency. And I think this is going to really benefit them, adding guys like Stevenson and Montour, and they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot. No,
Yeah, I definitely think they will be fighting for a playoff spot. I just think that they'll miss out. Just barely though. But again, it's because the four teams ahead of them. I just think they're just better overall than the Seattle Kraken. But I think the Seattle Kraken will definitely be in there. Until maybe what game 78, 79, and then yeah, maybe they'll just fall short again.
yeah, I mean, like I said, they added the guys like Stevenson, Montour, and they just look really good. I like how Grubauer's finally found his game over there because a couple games, couple like even
Hmm.
the season when he got there, he just wasn't himself. He didn't look strong at all. That was when they were also balancing between the three goaltenders they had with Drieger, Decord, and Grubauer. So at least now they finally have some structure and know that Grubauer and Decord are going to be their guys. So we'll see how they do, but I really like the way they're built. They're an underrated squad for sure. It's just, compared to like the teams I'm about to mention next, if they can compete. Number four, LA Kings. They're always in the mix for me. I had the Vegas Golden Knights in four.
Fourth,
Losing
okay.
four, yeah. Ah, they lost Marchessault. They lost Logan Thompson. They've lost like a lot of good pieces. They added Elias Samsonov, fine. I don't know, man. And they also lost Michael Amade, who was a very good bottom six player. They lost Chandler Stevenson. They lost a bunch of dudes that are like really good. I'm looking at their lineup now. They got Barbashev, Eichel, Olofsson. They did get Olofsson, Hurdlestone. My question is health wise. A lot of these Vegas stars like Eichel and Stone and even Hurdle last year have missed so much time. So for me, it's about health. If they can stay healthy, I think they can be a top three team. I just don't see that
Yeah.
happening, especially with the way Stone had to really intensify his recovery for him to come back and make the playoffs. Let's not forget, he wasn't even supposed to be playing, right? He wasn't even
Yeah,
supposed to be
yeah,
playing in these playoffs because of his lacerated spleen, from what we remember
yeah.
reporting on. So for me, I think Vegas, they're still Vegas, but it's going to be a really different version of Vegas that we've seen over the past couple years. They're going to be chasing that last wild card spot again, and they might miss out, but I think they can get in,
Okay.
maybe with the second or yeah, I'd say the second wild card with those guys. Number three, the LA Kings. They're always there. They have a really nice squad. They got Darcy Kemper in net now, moving away from the washed Cam Talbot. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They got Warren Fogle. They got rid of who did they get rid of? Who left them? Whoa.
Robertson.
They lost Victor Arvidsson and they got Warren Fogle. They did also get Tanner Jeannot from the Tampa Bay Lightning. And they extended Quentin Byfield, which we haven't talked about. It was a very good extension. I want to say it was 6 years or 5 years at 4.5, five.
I think 655.
6.55. So 6 years, $5.5 million for basically their future star. I really like that move, and I think the LA Kings are going to be a stronger team this season. I think they will get that third Pacific Division spot again. What do you
Mm-hmm.
like? I mean, they look like a good team. They've got a better goalie. I think Riddick did play his ass off when he was in net. It was just Cam.
Good.
It was just Cam Talbot was just he couldn't he can't play anymore clearly. And I like
Yeah.
the add of Tanner Jeannot, a guy who can just rough it up and on the fourth line and cause some scrum. And I like the out of Warren Fogle. I feel like in Edmonton he didn't really have enough room to essentially show off what he probably is capable of, and that's being a very solid forward who could probably score goals. Because we saw in the playoffs he can score. He scored some really important
Yeah.
goals for the Oilers. And now that he's not under the McDavid Draisaitl lights, I feel like he has an opportunity to really prove himself and establish himself on this Kings lineup, who are looking to continue to make the playoffs with their young mixed with veteran core. In the second
Yeah.
position, I would go with the Canucks. I think the Canucks are also a good team. They added Jake DeBrusk. They've added Daniel Sprong. They've added Danton Heinen. They look like a really good team. They also added Derek Forbort and Vinny Desharnais. So they look really strong on the back line, even with losing a guy like Zadorov. They look really strong on the back line. For me, Demko's health is also very important. We saw the way Seelovs can, carry a team far enough in the playoffs, but I just think Demko's health is very important this year, as he's going to be a very important piece for them if they want to go on a run. But yeah, I really like the way the Canucks are built. They like I said, the depth that they've added with Sprong and with the defense of Desharnais and Forbort. I think these guys can really make a strong case to get close to the division title again. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I don't know. Like, I really like that Sprong deal. Again, it's a really cheap deal for a guy who could really do everything on the ice. Like, he could put the puck in the net. He can defend as well. He plays a 200-foot game. That's what he does. Again, the Canucks. I don't know, just something about them that I'm not really sold on, and I don't know what it is. I don't think they're gonna win the Pacific Division. They might contend for it, but again, it's just me personally. They're gonna have a decline this year. Like last year, I honestly believe last year was just a fluke. I think this year will be different, and they're just not going to compete.
You really think it was a fluke?
I do think it was a fluke, and we will see this year that the Canucks are not going to chase any Pacific Division title. They're going to lose the Pacific Division by 15 points.
Wow. Okay. And I think I have the same number one as you, the Edmonton Oilers. Holy shit. If they weren't a good team when they made the Stanley Cup final and went to Game 7 into force, I mean, they look like they could win the Stanley Cup with this team.
Yeah.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman leading charge. Newcomer Jeff Skinner, former 30-plus goal scorer with the Buffalo Sabres, never played a playoff game in his life, playing over 1,000 regular season games to once never make the playoffs and have a playoff game. Looks like he'll be paired up with Leon Draisaitl and Victor Arvidsson, who is another underrated player. They look like a strong top six right there. That's probably one of the best top sixes in the league, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And then they bringing back their bottom six that they've played with that got them the Stanley Cup final. Bringing back Janmark, Henrique, Brown, and Corey Perry. They look like a really good team. Skinner, he's back in net, of course. I think these guys are probably going to, contend for the Stanley Cup again. They look really good, especially that Skinner and Arvidsson ad. Whew! That's all they needed was some more, with some better forwards as well, because we kept questioning the depth of Edmonton, and now they have a really good forward group, I'd say.
Yeah, no, they do. Yeah, dude, the Oilers, bro, they're gonna be scary, bro. And bro, any arena that they go into, bro, good luck, man. Like, Oilers are, whoo-wee. You don't want to face them, bro. Let's go to the Central Division.
Yeah,
we'll stay in the West here. I'll start with this one. Okay, Central Division. Chicago Blackhawks. You guys made some ads, but you guys are still young and you guys are still rebuilding. Okay, don't get your hopes up. Okay, Bertuzzi will have a great season, I feel like, and Bedard will also continue to step up his game. Okay, but Blackhawks, I'm sorry, fans, you guys are just not it yet. Okay, you guys are last. Okay, second last, St. Louis Blues. Okay, you guys did absolutely nothing this offseason, and you guys are just a complete waste of time. Like, really? Like, you guys were in contention for a playoff spot last year, and then you guys have done literally nothing this whole offseason. Are you serious? Yeah, Blues, bro. You guys, it's over. Like, I understand you guys got Kyrie, and you guys re-signed Pavel Buchnevich, okay? I understand, but Binnington, I mean, bro, you desperately need Binnington to play well, okay? And then you guys need some scoring depth that you guys don't even have. And you guys didn't even address that anyway. So, it just, again, forward core, other than Kyrou and Robert Thomas and Booch, it's really not there. So, yeah, second last. I'm not really impressed by the Blues. We'll go sixth place, the Utah Hockey Club. Yeah, Utah Hockey Club. I don't think you guys will make the playoffs, but I will say this. As a new franchise, okay, I think you guys will actually be really fun to watch.
Huh? I'm recording.
I think you guys will be really fun to watch. And I think, dude, the fans will be happy. They might not make the playoffs, but I think they will be closer than they haven't been in previous years. So I think they'll get a lot of fans cheering for them. They're going to be backed by the hockey fans, and I think they'll be a great place for Utah. And I don't think they'll make it, but I think they'll have a decent season. We'll go fifth place, the Winnipeg Jets. You guys are frauds, and I hope you guys don't make the playoffs. Okay, bro. You guys can have Connor Hellebuck. You guys can have Nikolai Ehlers, Mark Scheifele. But again, you guys overachieved last year. You guys did not deserve second place. Okay, in that Central Division. Okay, you guys are not making playoffs. Let me repeat that: the Winnipeg Jets are not making the playoffs next year. Okay, bro. You guys are not hyped at all. Okay,
so wait,
you guys don't even
fifth, right? You said fifth.
You guys don't even have a defenseman to help Josh Morrissey. Okay, bro. It's literally just him. Okay, and that is it. Okay,
what about
you guys.
Josh Norrisy. Josh
Norrisy. But other than that nobody sold in that defense core either, bro. And other than, like, bro, you guys had a good 2-week stretch of Gabriel Viardi, and then the man just dipped. Okay, stop this. Okay, yeah. Anyway, fourth place. We will go with the Minnesota Wild. I think they'll get the first wild card spot because I'm sold. You know what? The Minnesota Wild, okay, I know they missed the playoffs last year, and I was kind of shocked that they did. But I think, Jesper Wallstedt, if he comes up, he's going to be an absolute stud, okay? And I think he could win the Calder. I'm going to just put that out now, okay? Minnesota Wild, goalie, Jesper Wallstedt, Calder run. Okay, and I think Kaprizov's going to have a chip on his shoulder because he missed the playoffs. He has to be in the playoffs. Joel Eriksson X got to be in the playoffs. Okay, and they have a good D-core. They have Brock Faber. They have Spurgeon. Okay, with other guys. I forget the names right now. But they got other guys too. So I really like this Minnesota Wild team. And I think they're going to have a big chip on their shoulder to show that they're going to make the playoffs again. So they'll make the first wild card spot. Third place, we will do the Nashville Predators. I like what they did in the offseason. They added some big guys out there, and they already have guys like Yossi, and they have guys like Forsberg who scored 40-plus goals, and you locked up Saros on a really great contract. So I like what y'all are doing in Nashville. Okay, you guys are going to come third. Okay, second place, the Dallas Stars. You guys lost good pieces on that back end. Okay, and then you replaced them with Matt Dumba and Ilya Lyubushkin. That is not it. Okay, you guys lost Chris Tanev, and you guys lost Annie Hakanpää. Hakanpää, really underrated D-man. Okay, the Dallas Stars will still be great because they still have a great team, but I don't think they'll be as good as they were last year. Okay, and then first place, Colorado Avalanche. I'm gonna stick by the Avs. Going first place in the Central Division. Okay, they didn't. They made pretty much all their moves at last year's trade deadline with Middlestad, but they still have guys like Makar, Tays. They also need a backup goalie, desperately. So I mean, they because they really got to help Georgiev, man. Like the guy can't play 65 games a season. Like it's really ridiculous. But I think the Avalanche are just too strong, and I think they'll become first in the Central.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. Of course, Avalanche bias goes to Justin over here, picking them to go first. Let's go with my
First,
predictions. Last place. I really like this squad, but I'm gonna have to put the Blackhawks there, man. Like Taylor Hall, Bertuzzi, Teravainen, Bedard, Kershaw, Felito, Donato, like that. I love the forward group. The forward group looks really tough. And then even with Alec Martinez and TJ Brody being the new D pair for the Chicago Blackhawks. But yeah, I mean, it's just another year to get Bedard going. They did also get Brossois, so they maybe could come seventh, but I don't know. For me, I just don't think the Blackhawks have a really good chance, especially in this division. Seventh, I'm gonna go with Utah. I really don't think Utah can
okay.
compete with a lot of these guys. I know I have them a bit low, but a lot. I'm looking at a lot of their lineups, and I just don't think like I think teams like there's so many good teams in this league now. Like there's not like a garbage team.
Yeah,
I just
but they
think
did add Sergey.
they did add Sergachev. They added Kevin Stenlund from Florida. They added a bunch of pieces. They added Ian Cole on the back end. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, I don't see these guys making playoffs. I don't think it's time yet. It's gonna take some time, especially because they're going to Utah. I don't think it's gonna just be like, you know what, we're gonna go back to playing our hockey. It's different now. You're playing for a new city, right? It's gonna take some time to
yeah.
get used to, and I think they're gonna have to take some like the first half of the season is not gonna be as great. They'll pick it up in the end, but at the end of the day, I just think they won't be able to make playoffs then. Uh, in sixth place, I'm like flipping through these two teams here. That's tough. It's tough. I'm gonna go with the Blues. I think the Blues are probably gonna come sixth. Like, man, these guys, man, as soon as they won their Stanley Cup, they haven't been able to do anything. They lost in the bubble to the Canucks the year after. They lost to the Avalanche in round two, or round one, and then round two, and then they missed playoffs last year. I think the last 2 years they've missed playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was last year.
So, losing Craig Berube, losing a bunch of guys, Ryan O'Reilly was a really big part of that team. I just don't think these guys can recover, I guess.
Yeah,
And I just, I think now they have to do some kind of retool because these guys don't look as good. They did add Ryan Suter. Okay, man, the man's like almost 40 years old. I'm sure he'll be able to get you to where you want to go, right? Of course not. They did get Alexander Texier, which was a solid piece to their team. But at the end of the day, they're just not going to be able to compete with these next five other teams. And in fifth, I'm going to go with the Wild. I think I like how Minnesota are looking. They added Jacob Locko. They added Yakov Trenin as well. It looks to me that they're going to go with Marco Rossi at the top, so he's going to finally start to shine. He's a very good prospect that was drafted really early in the 2021, I believe, draft or 2020 draft. He was a really good piece to them. Brock Faber. Was really close. If it wasn't for Connor Bedard's existence, he would be holding the Calder Trophy as a defenseman, which is really impressive. So I expect him to cement himself as a top defender in the league. And I just think Philip Gustafson is going to have a better season. I really don't think he's going to, come into next year. Because, 2 years ago when he came, he was really good. Last year was a bit of a down year. They had to rely on Marc-Andre Fleury a lot. But I think this year, Philip Gustafson will prove why his contract is worth what it is. And in fourth place, the Winnipeg Jets. I did have the Winnipeg Jets. We did have them. They were second last year. They were good. But, man, these guys are frauds. How many times have we been saying it? They are frauds. No matter what place they come, no matter where they finish, they will always be frauds. I don't care. I genuinely think that both wildcard spots come out of the Pacific Division. I really don't think the Jets take a wildcard spot. And they will miss playoffs. Rick Bowness retiring as well. So
yeah.
I think they're still on the hunt for a new coach, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be really, tough for them again. It was already hard heading into the season to get seats in the building. So just imagine now when you lose a guy like Rick Bowness, and
Like
especially after getting bounced by the Avs exactly in the exact same fashion you did against the Golden Knights a couple years back. Like, are you really gonna have your these guys behind you, these fans? So no wonder I have them fourth. In third, I'm gonna go with the Dallas Stars. I think you.
third. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I think they drop a bit. Like you said, they've lost a bit of their depth. On the back end, it looks a little shaky. They got
Yeah, yeah.
as it seems to me, that's where I think they're gonna suffer the most. They got Thomas Harley and Miro Heiskanen as their top pair. SL Lindell, Ilya Labushkin, Brendan Smith, and Matt Dumba. I think that
Not it.
it's just not it. It's not as good as we've seen it before. Like losing Tanev is really sucks because he's a really good defenseman who can really hold the line. He's a defensive defenseman. He'll block shots. He'll block shots with his face even. We've seen that happen last year. Losing a guy like that, and also it also relies on Jake Ottinger too, because Ottinger wasn't playing his best, throughout the playoffs. He wasn't on his game, right? If you notice that.
He wasn't.
What's that?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't on his game. I think it's because he played so many games in the regular season that, again, dude, these goalies get overworked, man. Like, it's because teams cannot find a competent backup goalie that can give you 20, 25 games. And that's what kills these goalies what we saw with Hellebuck. Bro, the man was getting cooked every game.
Every game.
We saw Georgiev. Okay, but that was just all season. But again, he was somehow playing like 60 games last season when he was giving up like 4 goals a game. Dude, because these GMs cannot find competent backup goalies. Dude, and that's what's hurting these guys, man. It is what it is.
So I genuinely think that they will come third. I'll say 1 and 2 right now. In second place, the Colorado Avalanche, and in number 1, the Nashville Predators. The Nashville Predators are going to win this division. First, let me talk about the Avalanche. They're still the Avs. They have McKinnon. They have Rantanen. I don't know the status on Nichushkin, because he's a really big part of that team. We don't know if he'll be coming back. But, yeah, I think the Avs are still going to be in contention for a Stanley Cup again. I think they can, get past the Dallas Stars in a playoff series this year, especially comparing the back ends together. But I really want to talk about the Nashville Predators. Off camera, I've been talking and been hyping this team up. This team